On day 10 of the Copenhagen Summit, senior leaders are gathering in the Danish capital. UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon has arrived already and told reporters the final stage of the UN summit is the most complex and ambitious ever to be undertaken by the world community. Wednesday, Chinese Premier Jiaobao left Beijing, set to arrive in Copenhagen for Thursday's talks with other state leaders. On Tuesday, Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Jiang Yu said that if the talks came across any resistance or difficulties, it could be mainly attributed to developed countries backpedaling on the critical issues of mitigation, technology, and funds. TantaoNews takes you there to see how things are going on.
The tiff between developing and developed countries has led highlights this week in Copenhagen. Deputy head of the Chinese delegation to the Copenhagen Climate Conference, Yu Qingtai, stressed the developing countries to be truthful in speech and resolute in action in dealing with climate changes. Yu Qingtai said that although some developed countries had committed to reduce carbon emissions, they still released a large sum of carbon emissions without apology.
During the conference today, some countries clearly pointed out that they failed to fulfill the target, which was a fact people have to admit.
Yu also spoke directly to his close neighbor, Japan.
It's Japan's own right to decide what they should do and are going to do when coping with climate change. It's also Japan's own right to decide whether or to what degree to fulfill the target of 25% emission cut as is promised.
Yu urged Japan to act in accordance with their historical responsibilities. Yu said China faces a big challenge in the way of realizing its carbon emissions targets. He hit back at EU criticism, saying, quote, "I suggest those EU representatives holding prejudice on China think about whether their own countries have fulfilled their commitments." Head of China's delegation Xie Zhenhua said at the start of the talks, the debate focused on what draft text should serve as a basis for discussion.
The two texts met the requirements of the Bali Roadmap in format. Some decisions are made under the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, and some other decisions are made under the Kyoto Protocol.
Xie said a lot of work still needs to be done. He said any discussion on the text would be hard, given the differences in national interests and understandings of the Kyoto Protocol.
Premier Wen will arrive Thursday alongside U.S. President Barack Obama and U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton Wednesday. Danish police were preparing to tighten security measures at Copenhagen's Bella Center, where the most important part of the talks will be held.